Garden Blooms. I want to welcome you first to my new channel. This is a new experience for me. I had to kind of step out of my comfort zone when deciding I wanted to start a YouTube channel. But I realized how I love watching small businesses put out videos about how they're doing DIYs, about their life, about all these fun things that they do. And I thought I would share my experiences as well. So this first video is going to be the new booth, vendor booth prep work and everything that goes into prepping for a new vendor booth. In February, I found out that I was able to get a booth over at the Water Street Vintage in New London. I currently have two booths right now. So one in Appleton at Yield Goat and the other in Kimberly at Antique Up. So I thought, what a great opportunity to be able to expand to an area that I'm not currently in, and did some research, found out that they've been in business for 7 years, met the couple that own it. Very, very awesome people. So willing to help, very welcoming when I first went in to check out the booth. And the place is awesome. So I love the coziness as you pull up front, the feel. There's so many great vendors, and I just realized right away that I wanted to be part of this awesome business. So with that said, this first video, like I said, is all going to be about the prep work. So it's kind of not as fun as the setup, but it's just going to dive into everything that I had to do. And I missed some great clips because at first I didn't know I was going to set up a YouTube channel. So with that said, follow along this video and then look for video 2, which will be out in a week. Thanks. All right, let's dive in. How did I start prepping to set up for this booth? Number 1, I went thrifting. I know, shocker. I absolutely love to go thrifting. It's like my number 1 favorite thing to do. I also cannot keep everything myself. So this has really helped with my bad habit of finding these awesome finds. I can actually sell them all in my booths. So I divided all my finds into 2 categories. One was all my upcycled items. So anything I was gonna do something different and unique to, that's here out in my studio. Number 2, anything I just needed to clean up and then it's ready to go into my booth. That's in my home. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. So all of these items, I'm going to be doing different painting techniques too. All right, hi again. I brought you in my house and I'm gonna show you the items that I just had to clean up and really what inspired me. The one sign inspired the whole color palette for my new booth, which was right there, the blue sign. I loved it. I totally drove the whole color palette, like I said, with the creams, the whites. I did grays, and then I went and I picked out all the pieces of furniture in my stash of furniture, and I already painted those. So I didn't get any of that on film, unfortunately, and I really wish I did. It was prior to me knowing that I was going to create a YouTube channel and document all of this. But I still am going to document all my upcycling and some of my other signs that I'm making for the booth. But I did want to also just show you, I do break out pen and paper. I jot down how I'm going to lay out my booth and then the items that I want to include in my booth. And I just do a checklist. And there's a lot. There's still a lot that I need to do. So not only do I thrift and put those items in there and shabby chic furniture or upcycle furniture, I also handcraft all my own items. So I'm gonna bring you along that journey as well, and we'll go through it all. And so now I'm gonna show you some clips of what we're doing or what I've done to get ready. Here's my new booth. The size of it is 8 wide by 10 deep. My main concern was that back wall. I wanted to fix that. So I'm going to add a full brick wall. I headed to the lumber yard and did find the faux brick wall sections. Unfortunately, they did not have the color that I was looking for. I had to make a decision. Did I want to go with this dark red brick or the very white brick? I'm doing a painting technique where I whitewash it, and I was hoping to have the red come through a bit, but this red is not the look I'm going for. I did go back and forth trying to determine what would be the best option. I did finally settle on the lighter color. I think it's going to look a lot better than that dark red. The first thing I did when I did get the sections home was I found out what the actual size of the back wall was, which was 80.5 inches tall and not a full 8 feet wide. So I did have to cut it down. I used my jigsaw, which made it really easy. I then used Rust-Oleum's chalk paint to do that painting technique that I talked to you guys about. Normally I use a latex paint and I brush it on, wipe it off. The chalk paint was really easy actually, made it go on real smooth, quickly. I didn't have the mess of wiping the paint off, and I was real happy with how it turned out. I realized pretty quick that a booth that's 8 by 10, I was not going to have as much display space that I'm used to. My other booths are pretty large, so what I decided to do was use as much of the vertical space as I possibly could. I cut 6 boards, I rounded the edges, I stained them a gray so that they'd pop off of that whitewashed wall. Added the brackets, and I think they're going to look great. It's going to allow me to take advantage, like I said, of as much vertical spacing as I possibly can. So you'll have to take a look once that wall is up. The final renovation of my booth will be a shiplap wall. I was very fortunate and found all these boards curbside. I was, to my surprise, when I pulled up, I'm like, who would be throwing these away? So right away I came up with the idea of how I was going to use them. I cut them to size, painted them a dark gray with the whole booth being very white. I think this is really going to pop. Plus, I am going to house my soaps against that wall, and I do have white shelving that I'm going to be putting up. It's like a metal white shelf, and it holds all my soaps, and it's going to look great. So we'll have to see what you think once I get it up. So I don't want you to forget, get a sign for your booth, also your business cards. You want your customers to know who you are and where they can find you. So these 2 items will help with that. One of the items that I do handcraft are all my barn quilts. Many people think that I use stencils to draw them out, but I actually hand draw every one of the patterns on each of my quilts. When I'm setting up a new booth, I always like to try to use different size ones. So I have my round barn quilts, my large 44 inchers, my 33 inchers, and my 22 inchers. And I like to have a wide variety of them. So this took me the longest setting this piece up, as you can see. So I thought I'd give you an update. It's crunch time. I've been working diligently trying to make as many items for my new booth. As you can see, I made these cute signs, farmhouse signs, some little risers. I just love that little rabbit. Finished a whole bunch of arrows for my new booth. Got some of the stars, all the colorful ones I'm putting together tonight. Made these 2 signs. One says hello and the other one behind it says gather. Made those out of upcycled fencing. And then over here I have several 22-inch barn quilts. I have a 33, a 42-inch round, and a 44-incher. I also have all my cookie cutters, my bath, all my soap savers, all that good stuff, my home signs. And then over here I have a whole bunch of vintage inspired breadboards that I just made, my rounds. So when I say it's go time, I have to finish up these 3 items, which have been like just sitting here waiting for me. I have a cute little tiny roll top desk that I am flipping as well. And then just a bunch of items. So Sunday, I think I'm going to start setting up the walls, putting in my big pieces, and then on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, just bring items and then set the booth up. So I want to thank you all for following along. If these are types of videos that you'd want to see, like DIY, home improvement, following a small business through their adventures, hit that subscribe button and click on the notifications so that you will receive all the notifications when my new videos come out every Monday. So the next video, like I said at the beginning, is going to be all about the setup. You're gonna see that there was a bit of an issue with the wall install, but we got it worked out. So you'll have to watch for that video next week. I do want to thank you all for watching, like I said, and we'll see you next week. Bye.